examples of cross product, isn't it?
Sir, we just derived the
Relation
equation
between.
omega r is equal to v.
The relation we did, relation between a linear speed and angular speed. Then we got
Yes,
V is
sir.
equal to R omega. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Next heading,
sir.
centripetal acceleration and centripetal force.
Sir, I had a doubt, sir.
Telling, sir.
Sir, in this chapter 3, motion in a straight line, what is this in deleted portion that you had given, sir? What is this frame of reference?
Just a minute. What is that? Frame of?
Frame of reference.
It is not there. Syllabus. It's removed.
Sir, but what is that, sir?
If it's not removed, then why should then I will like teach you? It's a frame of reference means from which frame you are referring to the object. There is an inertial frame, non-inertial frame. There are some frame of references. It is not need to study. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, I have to teach you. If you are interested, I will teach you that part. Doesn't matter. Fine. Listen now. Now next is centripetal force. Centripetal force, centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. Centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. Listen now. See, suppose a body is traveling along straight line. Velocity v, or this way, an object is traveling with a velocity v. Horizontal projectile itself, you know, there is a gravity acting always perpendicular to it, right, downward. What the path you found here? It went to a parabolic path, right?
Parabolic.
Yes, sir.
Because this downward velocity and the horizontal velocity together acting on this object and causing a resultant velocity that is traveling in resultant path. Am I right?
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
Suppose here, you just imagine here there is an object moving here. So we are exerting a force exactly perpendicular direction. Then immediately this will turn to this direction, right?
Yes, sir.
Now again I am exerting a force perpendicular to the path. It will turn again. Again a force exerting perpendicular to it. It will turn again. So every instant that force acting, this will keep turning its direction, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
At an instant, suppose when the body is leaving here, if you remove the force, it will go along the tangent. If it removing here, it will go along the tangent. If you're removing the force, the object will go along the tangent. That means in circular motion, every instant of time, object has the tendency to go along the tangent. That means its linear speed is along the tangent. But always there's a force acting to the center that make this turning everywhere. So this force which is acting towards the center, causing a change in velocity, is known as centripetal force. And change in velocity, smaller classes we studied, change in velocity is acceleration. So change in velocity, the first idea comes to our mind, change in speed. It's not necessary for change in velocity. There is a change in speed. Direction changing also we can say there is a change in speed. According to Newton's law, whenever the force acting, there must be an acceleration. So here also there is a force acting. So velocity, speed is not changing, but velocity is changing because direction change. That change in velocity due to change in direction, which acts towards the center of that arc, is known as centripetal acceleration, and that force which causes this acceleration is known as centripetal force. Examples I will show you. See, suppose this is sun and the planets are moving around here. Around the sun, planets are moving, for example. This planet is here, you all know, because of there is a centripetal force. That centripetal force is what? G-M-E-M divided by R squared, gravitational force of attraction. Suppose at an instant, this gravitational force of attraction disappear. If it disappear, immediately all these planets will go along the tangent. It will not go along the circumference. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is called centripetal acceleration, and the force, gravitational force is there, centripetal force. I'll tell another example of centripetal force. A car turning along the circular track. A car which is turning along the circular track. Suppose this very smooth surface, you are sitting on the top of the car. When the car is turning along this track, you will be thrown off from the car, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Actually, somebody is
sir.
pushing you there.
No, sir.
No,
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 sir.
sir.
It's a fictitious force. There's a force acting that throw you out from here. But car doesn't thrown off. The reason, when force acting here, this car also having the tendency to go out. But between the car and the tire and the road, there's a frictional force developing into the road, into the curve. So here, this frictional force is a centripetal force. So this is another example.
Sir, inertia, because of inertia, we could be thrown out, right?
Because of inertia, it is going outward. But why it is not throwing out? This car, why it's not going out? That's because of this force holding it, right?
So, sir,
Yes.
centripetal force exists in different types of force.
Different types of centripetal. Centripetal force means a force acting on a body perpendicular to its track, so that the body keep on moving in a circular track. That's
Yes.
a centripetal force. It can be different. Gravitational force, frictional force in this case, when a car is turning. Another example, a string and a stone. You're turning the stone. Okay? So when you're turning it, ignore. Actually, you're giving an inward pull all the time. So the tension of the string here causing centripetal force. So different situation, you can see this centripetal force. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Right now, centripetal acceleration. When a body is traveling along the circular track, when a body is traveling along the circular track or curved path, when a body is traveling along a curved path,
Sir, in sport there is one rotating the ball and throwing, right? That's also centripetal force.
which one?
Throwing the ball at means more height by rotating. In sports, sir, in Olympics like that.
Discus throwing, right?
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Or curved path, a velocity change occur. A velocity change occur because of change in direction of the body. Because of change in direction of the body.
Sir, can you repeat?
When a body is traveling along the circular track, a velocity change occur because of change in direction of the body. And this change in velocity causing an acceleration. And this change in velocity causes an acceleration. And this change in velocity causes an acceleration, which acts along the radius of the circular track. Which acts along the radius of the circular track.
Sir, this change in velocity.
Which causes an acceleration.
It's the circular track.
This one, when I'm telling the statement, you completely continue. Because 3-4 times I'm repeating. When I'm reaching the fourth sentence, one person will ask first sentence, second person will ask second and half sentence. Then how will I recall it? Again, second time when I'm saying, all statement will change. So we listen carefully and write in that same pace. Because I'm not giving a by-hearted one which is written here. I'm in the situation I'm explaining, thinking in my mind. So according to that, you must write. If you don't get, leave that piece and continue. When I complete, we can make it other person read. Now we see when I'm saying all statement will change. Okay, now what did we reach now?
Circular
This
track.
change
Along
in
the
Now
radius
all
of the
statement
circular
will change.
track.
That's what I'm telling you. When a body is traveling along a circular track, there is a change in direction of the body. This change in direction causes a change in velocity. This change in direction causes a change in velocity, which in turn produces an acceleration, which in turn produces acceleration, which in turn produces an acceleration, which acts ACTS, which acts along the radius of the circular track, along the radius of the circular track, along the radius of the circular track, and towards a center, along the radius of the circular track towards a center. This acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. This acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration. This acceleration is known as centripetal acceleration, AC. Now, any doubt you tell me, repeat if you want. Anybody want me to repeat? Anybody want me to repeat the statement?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Please continue,
No,
sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, the force which causes this centripetal acceleration, the force which causes this centripetal acceleration is known as centripetal force. Is known as centripetal force. Is known as centripetal force. Example of centripetal forces. Okay, example. What is the example of centripetal force? Just now we discussed. Gravitational force is an example of centripetal force, isn't it? Example.
Yes, sir.
The gravitational force. Gravitational force, which enables the planets to move around the sun. Gravitational force is an example of centripetal force, which enable the planets to move around the sun. Next point, a frictional force between the tire and the road. A frictional force between the tire and the road. Which prevents a car slipping away from the road, which prevents a car slipping away from the road while it is traveling along a curved path. While it is traveling along a curved path. While it is traveling along a curved path. Third example, you want me to repeat that example?
Yes, sir. The second one, the frictional.
Second one. The frictional force acting between the tire and the road, which prevents the car from slipping away from the road. This is example, okay? Slipping away from the road.
Thank you, sir.
While it is making a circular turn. Then, a stone fixed at the end of a string. A stone fixed at the end of the string. A stone fixed at the end of the string is kept in a circular track. Is kept in a circular track due to the tension of the string. Due to the tension of the string. Stone has a tendency to go out, but tension of the string inward. Due to the tension of the string. Here tension is example of, here tension is a centripetal force. Here tension of the wire is centripetal force. Here tension of the wire is centripetal force. Now have you got clear idea about centripetal force?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Next one, expression for centripetal acceleration. Expression for
The more the rotation,
Huh? Tell
sir,
me.
the more the rotation of the object, then there will be more the tension on the string, right?
Then centripetal force should be more.
Yes, sir.
Expression for centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. Expression for centripetal acceleration and centripetal force. Very, very important derivation. Now itself we mark just previous of examination. No need to ask which is important derivation, which I am giving now itself marking. Okay. Very important derivation, this one. Look here. Here, this is a circular track, an object moving along the circumference with a uniform speed. With a uniform speed, an object is traveling along the circumference of a circle. So speed is same everywhere. Say 3 meters per second square, 3 meters per second. So all the time speed remains 3 meters per second. Remember that.
Yes, sir.
Radius of this one, R. Radius is R. So speed is V, radius R. So everywhere radius is same. Okay, so this is O. This is a point P. But if I'm marking the position vector, I can say this is a position vector OP that can be written as R1. Now this body, while reaching here, the position vector is OQ. This is a position vector, that is OQ. So this is R2. Can I say that vector R1 is equal to vector R2? Will you agree with it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You will agree.
Radius is same.
Means
The magnitude is same, but direction is
listen.
Direction is different.
Listen,
Yes,
if
sir,
I'm
direction.
going 5 meter right side, 5 meter left side, will I reach the same place?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Magnitude, distance is same, but vector is different. Vector means it indicates direction.
Direction.
So I can say modulus of vector R1 is equal to modulus of vector R2 is equal to R. That's a radius.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
But I cannot say vector R1 is equal to vector R2. That's different. Because vector R1 means direction OP.
Yes.
Vector R2 means direction OQ. OP and OQ are not same direction.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So I cannot say vector R1. Position vector R1 is not equal to position vector R2, but magnitudes are equal. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Now you see here. This place object has a linear speed, that means along the tangent. We assume it is 3 meter per second. So I'm taking 3 centimeter, this vector. Okay, that scale I'm giving 3 centimeter, this length. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That
sir.
means now this point, it is a velocity in this direction, that is V1.
Okay, sir.
Now at Q, see what happens at Q. This is the direction, same 3 centimeter. Because speed should be same. This length and this length should be same.
Yes, sir.
Because magnitude is same. So while you're drawing also, the length of V1 should be same as length of V2. That shows their magnitude is same, but direction is different. This is now V2. At this point, object is released, it will go along this direction. At this point, object is released, it will go in this direction. Both the case, linear speed is same. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So if I am marking here, vector V1 is equal to vector V2, will you accept?
No,
Yes, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir. No, sir.
Less of
Magnitude of vector V1 is equal to magnitude of vector V2. P will agree.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So magnitude of V1 is equal to magnitude of V2 is equal to V. That you will agree. That is speed.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
That's
Yes,
what
sir.
length I am keeping same. So while you're drawing also, you must be careful. Now you see, this is velocity V1. At this point, okay, at this point, this is the point we have to study. At this point, direction changed. That means at that point, a force exerted, see that I am marking with the reference line. At this point, some force exerted, isn't it? This point,
Yes, sir.
some force exerted. That's why there a change in direction caused. So acceleration also causing at this point. So this we have to find out by triangular law of vector addition. Here we know V1, we know. Delta V, change in velocity taking place at this corner. When you're adding, you must get the resultant, that is V2. This is a concept. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, adding with what, sir?
V1 plus delta R will give you delta V. Delta V. Sorry. V1 plus delta V will give you V2.
Okay, sir.
V1 is the initial velocity. Okay?
Yes, sir.
That is this point. Plus at this point change in velocity occurred. So we can say delta V, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
After that what happened? We got V2. So this
Yeah.
is the formula.
Okay, sir.
Here V1 is in the diagram. Delta V we have to find out. V2 is also in the diagram. Now we are going to make triangular law of vector addition. It's like a filling the blanks. This part is not there. This is there, this is there, this you have to find out using triangular law of vector addition. So look how I'm going to do it. For this vector, this 3 centimeter length I gave you in the beginning, that I'm transferring to this point. Okay? Now this also, this one also 3 centimeter, right? This V2.
Yes, sir.
This also same 3 centimeter.
Yes.
This also I'm transferring to this point, you see? This point. It should be same length, okay? Yeah. It should be same length. Now you see here, V1 already we have. Where is delta V comes now? V1 is marked. According to triangular law of vector addition,
From
V2
V2 to
two
V1.
vectors taken in order. V1 plus here something is missing. Result will come in opposite direction, right? This is the resultant.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this must be delta V, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But that idea you should have. Your missing part is delta V. So this is V2 resultant. So where is the missing part? Tell me.
V2 to
This
Yeah,
one,
V-
right?
V1 to V2.
Yes, sir.
Arrow head to the other arrow.
Between
There's a
that
mistake
V1
part.
and V2.
That is
Yes,
delta V.
Yes.
Now you see this formula. V1 plus delta V is equal to V2. According to triangular law, two sides are taken in order. V1 and delta V are taken in order. Resultant comes in the reverse order. Now any doubt?
No,
No,
sir.
sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So this much only work. So our now only to write it. This is the basic concept you have to develop here. Okay, fine. So draw this diagram now. One more thing. Now we see what is the direction of delta V. See this delta V.
V1
This
to
is
V2.
delta V, right?
Yes,
You
sir.
transfer. You see V1 I brought here, V2 I brought here. From that triangular law, I got delta V. Now if I'm transferring back V1 here, V2 here, you see the direction of delta V exactly in the middle, right? Isn't
Yes,
it?
sir.
Yes, sir.
Delta V which I calculated here,
Yes,
I am
sir.
bringing back to the circle. So this must be delta V, right? This corner.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is
Yes,
the
sir.
direction of delta V? Towards the center.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes, sir.
This delta V by
Yes, sir.
delta T will give you acceleration. So that is a centripetal acceleration. Any doubt?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So this much only the concept, very easy concept. Okay. Write down now.
So here
First
there
draw.
is a delta t.
Delta t time. We can divide by delta t. This change happened by a delta t time.
So should you draw this figure?
How can we draw delta t in a figure? Delta t is time, right? Can you draw time? So you draw when I'm drawing it. Okay. So you won't have confusion.
Yes, sir.
This is R1, vector R1, the O to P. Here vector R2. Vector R2. Okay, O to Q. This is O, center to O to Q. At this point, velocity, you take around 3 centimeter length here. V1. Here you take the velocity V2.
Yes, sir.
So before 64
So V1 and V2 have same length.
56 only.
Same length, same length. Here it is delta theta. This must be displacement. Delta R. Okay. This line P2Q is delta R. Now we have to draw a triangular law vector addition.
V1,
Mhm.
O2.
V1, V2. And the same length we have to transfer here. Again, this same length, this one. The same length we have to transfer to this point. This must be same length. This is V1, this is V2. Now resultant will be in this direction.
So the angle between V1 and V2 will be.
When you transfer it, it will come automatically same angle delta theta, isn't it?
Okay, sir.
Because angle between the radii is equal to angle between tangents.
Okay, sir.
This also will be delta theta. This angle, if I take it, it will come delta theta. In maths, there is a rule. Angle between the radius is equal to angle between the respective tangents. This is delta V. Here it is delta theta. This is OPQ. Here we can mark O dash, P dash, Q dash. These two are similar triangles. So actually V1, V2 we brought from the circle, we got delta V, and if you bring it back to the circle, we can see delta V acting towards the center. I mean change in velocities along the radius to the center. That's what we proved here.
Yes, sir.
And diagram should be very clear in the derivation.
So the measurement is same, right?
Same.
Delta, I mean V1 and V2. Okay.
It should be same because magnitudes are same.
Yes, sir.
All right. Only 5 minutes. Otherwise, again, you have to repeat in the next class.
Should we draw delta V in the circle?
No. That you understand. That's all. Let us consider particle moving along the circumference of a circle. Let us consider particle moving along the circumference of a circle. Let us consider a particle moving along the circumference of a circle of radius r, with uniform speed v. With the uniform speed v. Let us consider a particle moving along the circumference of a circle of radius r with the uniform speed v. Let v1 be the velocity of the particle. Let v1 be the velocity of the particle at the point P. At the point P, where its position vector is r1. Where its position vector is r1. v2 is the velocity of the particle at the point Q. v2 is the velocity of the particle at the point Q, where its position vector is r2.
V2 is
Where
the
its
velocity.
position vector is r2. v2 is the velocity of the particle at the point Q, where its position vector is r2. Okay, then we can write modulus r1 is equal to r2 is equal to r, and v1 is equal to v2 is equal to v. Have you written?
Yes, sir.
Next line. By applying triangular law vector addition, as shown in figure, by applying triangular law vector addition as shown in figure, delta V can be calculated. Delta V can be calculated. Delta V can be calculated from the figure O dash P dash Q dash. From the figure O dash P dash Q dash.
Sir, can you repeat?
By applying triangular law of vector addition, change in velocity delta V can be calculated from the figure O dash P dash Q dash. Here, triangle O dash P dash Q dash and triangle OPQ are similar triangle. There's a proof for that we don't need. That's a very long, lengthy way. Just understand they are similar triangle. We can prove it. Triangle O dash, P dash, Q dash and OPQ are similar triangle. If you want to prove, there is another method you have to bring it. But anyway, it's clear that will be similar triangle. We know what is the property of similar triangle? Ratio of corresponding sides will be equal. Therefore,
Yes, sir.
An angle will be
vector
also.
V1 by vector R1. See, modulus is equal to V2 divided by R2 is equal to V by R. Okay, because they are modulus only I'm taking. V1 modulus, V2 modulus is V. R1 modulus, R2 modulus is R. Okay, is equal to one more here delta V. Delta V by delta R.
So we have
Delta V by delta
theta,
R.
right? So
Okay,
SCF
because ratio of the corresponding sides. V1 by R1, V2 by R2, third side delta V by delta R. Then we have the equation V by R is equal to delta V by delta R. We need delta V here, right? Delta V is equal to V by R into delta R. Delta V is equal to V by R into delta R. What is our purpose? We need acceleration. Acceleration means delta T. So both sides of the equation we are going to divide by delta T. Delta V by delta T is equal to V by R delta R by delta T. You're right. Dividing both sides of the equation by delta T. Dividing both sides of the equation by delta T. So delta V by delta T is equal to V by R into delta R by delta T. What is delta V by delta T? Acceleration, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And its direction
Yes,
is towards the center. That's what AC we are writing. Acceleration AC is equal to V by R. What is delta R by delta T?
Speed,
V.
velocity.
V, displacement by time, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That V. So centripetal acceleration is equal to V squared by R. But this V squared by R. But V is equal to R omega. This already we proved in the previous derivation.
Yes, sir.
Substitute here. AC is equal to V. R squared omega squared by R. Or AC is equal to R omega squared. The direction of this acceleration is towards the center along its radius. The direction of this acceleration
Finally.
is towards center along its radius. Therefore, this is centripetal acceleration. This is centripetal acceleration. Last one sentence.
Sir, can you repeat the last sentence?
Here, direction of acceleration is towards the center of the circle along its radius. Direction of acceleration along the radius towards its center. This is called centripetal acceleration. Then centripetal force which acts towards center is F is equal to M into AC. Centripetal force F is equal to M into AC. That is F is equal to M into AC is what? V squared by R. Centripetal force. Or FC is equal to M V squared by R. We can replace by R omega squared. R omega squared. Finished. This FC is known as centripetal force.
Yes, sir.
MR omega squared. Okay. Okay, then study this derivation today itself. How was your result yesterday?
Good, sir.
Good, sir.
Good, sir.
Good? Okay.
Yes.